I'm just gonna wait, see if anyone rocks up. Way, Ethan. Hey, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. Of course, I'm competing with Smo by the looks of things. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. How you doing, brother? You're the man. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate you. I have my my trusty Stanley knife. So like I'm not a knife guy, so I don't have all these fancy knives like Chuckin and you and all you other EDC guys who carry knives and cool stuff. I just have a little workman's knife, but it's ready to open. Slingmail, Slingmail. Everybody loves Slingmail. I know it's quite an advanced build, really, but I like it. It's easy. Does what it says on the tin. So how you been, brother? You all right? How's the family? Everything good down in good old Tennessee? I'm going to give people a few minutes to drag themselves away from Jordan's much more attractive face and a much more attractive collection of slingshots and see who turns up. And then we'll see whether this package actually survived the trip. It's a little bit crunched, a little bit squashed on one side. And oh man, that's so sad. I'm sorry, brother. That's I mean, I'm assuming that you mean your dog finally crossed the doggy rainbow to doggy heaven rather than you lost it. You went out and just, has someone got the dog? Fuck, forgot the dog, which we nearly did with my brother once. So I wouldn't blame you for that. But yeah, not to make light in the face of grief, but oh man, that's the worst. That is the worst. I'm sorry, brother. Yeah. But, on the plus side, he went doing something he loved. And, if we could all be that lucky. So, and, what about, hey, how you doing, Rob? That's a shame, man. Sorry to hear that. Got a friend messaging me typically the moment I go live on YouTube. So I'll just let her know. How you going, Rob? I'm sitting with my my loyal 2 viewers. So Slingmail, Rob. Slingmail, Slingmail. Everybody loves Slingmail. I've got some super cool thumbnails for future Slingmails that I've generated. This one was pretty shitty. I just whipped it together. But I know, two views, 2 likes, 2 participants, 100% success rate, mate. I like to look at it that way. So it must be what, 6, 7 p.m. It must be about 7 p.m. for Ethan, and what, 6 p.m. for you, Rob? Something like that. It's bright and early here. I have lights on because I'm indoors, but I was going to do this outdoors, but then I panicked and got up late, rushed over, picked up the parcel, came back. I was like, I don't have time to make coffee and set up outside. So coffee won, I'm afraid. You know, what can I say? Oh, there we go. 6 p.m. for both of you. Okay. Yeah, I can never work out timing. Oh, it's too confusing. You guys in your multiple time zones, us with our multiple time zones, you guys with some states not observing, well, I say some states, Arizona not observing daylight savings, us with Queensland not observing daylight savings. It's like, makes no sense. And one of our states it sits in a half-hour time difference. So it's not 3 hours or 4 hours, it's 3.5 hours or something. Like, mad. Chad, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Oh, look at all these love hearts coming in. I feel loved. That's appreciated. Someone's banging that heart. That's probably Rob, isn't it? Playing with the heart button. Ding, 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 ding. I should remove that, though. It's really annoying. There is a way to do it. I found out how to do it, but I couldn't. No, I don't know. Meh. I might bang the party. There you go. Woo, party! So yeah, Chad, unboxing, brother. I might be limited to just opening it just with you guys. I told Mikey about it. I was like, Mikey, you know, this parcel has taken some serious time to get here because of the wrong address. Okay, and I know it was a mistake, and I know he tried to sort it. He owned it straight away. But I was concerned I might not receive it. So to hear that it had been delivered to my old address caused me some degree of consternation. And fortunately, I managed to liaise to go and pick it up and rushed over this morning, collected it, and came back, and I have not opened it. I was so tempted. I really wanted to open it. I wanted to stuff it, rip it open, and pull all the bits out. But I'm going to open it live with you guys because, hey, Zach, good man. I'm glad there's a few people have arrived for the exciting unboxing. Yeah, it did indeed, Ethan. I was like, everything sucked inwards. I was like, oh God. So give you some idea. Parcels from the US, like the last parcel I ordered from Mikey and JB took 2 days, I think 2 days to get from, or 3 days to get from Tucson to LA. It cleared LA within 24 hours. It came over air freight, so got to Australia in 2 days. But that was the registration, like it from in to out. So it was acknowledged as having been received in Australia like 2 days later. So basically, from when Mikey mailed it, it was like 5 days to get to Australia, and then it just sat in Sydney for a week, and then it took a week and a bit to get up to Brisbane, and then it took like 2 or 3 days for them to organise to deliver it to me. So it took, the last parcel I ordered took like over 3 weeks to get here, despite the fact it left America within like 2.5 days. This one was similar. It's a bit quicker, but same thing. 2 days, LA. Another day in Australia. Sat in Sydney for 6 days in customs, being squashed and, you know, like just thrown around by parcel handlers and used to play football or whatever they do with it. And then it just sat there, and then it left. It finally cleared customs, but there was no update on it being forwarded on. And then it got sent up here and arrived at my old address. And so I've had 3 days of waiting for my ex-partner said, "Oh yeah, I'll pick. You can pick it up on Sunday." I'm like, okay. So I was like sitting there on Friday going, Sunday's so far away because Slingmail, Slingmail. So happy. So open the box. Yeah, all right, Rob. I'm not going to get more than 4 people in here, especially if Jordan's still on. I shall open it up for you guys, and you get the excitement. You get to see my excitement, which is really what it's all about, because you've seen all this shit before. In fact, all of you own way more slings. I was hoping Leon would make it, because you know he's someone we can always rely on being super excited by Slingmail. So let us open this up and see what's inside. Although I know what's inside, but okay. It's like Santa's grotto. So I have some prime American bubble wrap in multiple sizes for future use. That's excellent. I shall stash that away for popping when I feel needed. Oh, some prime American packing paper. Butcher's paper. Again, save that for later for, I don't know, a sensory board or something. I know, hours of fun, mate. Oh, what do we have in here? Okay, what should we start with? Should we start we'll start with accessories, okay? I have finally joined the Omega Electric White Club. So there was limited stock when I ordered, so I got the 0.45, which obviously I was going to buy because that's my special sauce. 0.4, 0.45. I like those light bands. I also got some 0.55, right? Couldn't get the 0.5. Couldn't get anything lighter than 0.6 in green at the time, so I ordered 0.55 white on the basis that will throw 9.5 mil like a boss. So, and I can always cut the tapers thinner, like do an 18 to 12 or something. I love my precise 0.55, but I can't use it like 22 to 14 or 20 to 12 because it's way too snappy, way too heavy. So I use it 18 to 12, 18 to 10, and it works great. So, yay, more latex. All right, what else do we have in here? God, this is exciting. Tubes. 2 tubes. We have 2 tubes. We have 1632 and we have 1636. Way easy, Tiger. So my thinking on this was 1632. JB told me the red ones were more snappy and had more tension in them, so I thought I'd get the lower. Hey, Leon, you finally made it. Okay, mate, you just missed. All you missed was Omega White and Omega White. And some tubes. And the reason I got some tubes was, firstly, attaching spinners and stuff. I really like having them on stretchy elastic. It helps. Okay, that's the first thing. But I've never shot a tube shooter. Right? So I was like, what can I do? Maybe I will. I've got a couple of frames with pre-drilled holes for tubes. Maybe I'll give it a go. So there you go. In the interests of becoming a more rounded, well-rounded shooter. So a couple of tube things there. What else do we have here? Okay, so let's see. We'll see if he included the stuff that I. Oh, here we go. Look. Got some can targets. Smacky smack. Okay. The box did get fondled. It got fondled by a caring package handler. Mikey, man, You know what's in here, so I don't need to really show you, but it all arrived fine, brother. There's no need. You can now sleep again. You don't need to have any more stress about this package being destroyed, eaten, used as refuse, used as firelighters, whatever. My 0.55, my 0.5 Omega White, so I'm going to be using that. My tubes, that's all I've gone through so far, and I've just got my little package of me targets. So my targets, I'm not gonna make the mistake that Ethan made and shoot these guys dry, okay? Because I'm gonna soak these. Yeah, well, it could have been carried off by dingoes, although that sort of thing is a little bit touchy in this country, mate, because of the whole baby thing, the dingo eating the baby thing. Just so you know, it has happened, and so people get a bit touchy about people talking about things getting eaten by dingoes. It's okay. It happens. It's like they're wild animals. Dingoes are cool. I like dingoes. So yeah, I'm gonna soak these because when Ethan shot his, he nearly cut it in half. And I think super dry, that's why it happened, because they're so dry, and if you hit in the same spot, it's just going to bend in half. So I'm going to soak these, get them nice and soft before I use them. They will also make a better noise. Thanks for sending those, Mikey. I really appreciate that. That's great, brother. That was like last minute. I was like, oh, can you split a pack for me? And you were like, if I must. I has another set of exciting things because I am going to be decorating my sling box. Got my stickers. Addicted. You missed, mofo. Slingshot Tony. Say hello to my little friend. Definitions. Chuckin'. When every shot counts. And I'm fast as fuck, boy. There you go. I don't like going in dry, mate. Too much friction, never good. Never good. And on top of that, I got a little gift from Mikey, and this is super appreciated, brother. I've always wanted one of these, and I've never known where I was going to get a little slingshot, like keyring. And now I have one. Now I have a little. So I might band that up later and just laugh. What was the first? You want to make a joke about the first sticker? What, this one? It was the addicted one. Is that the first one that you wanted to Ethan, which one did you want to comment on? Which of these many stickers? It's going to be so good. What hit me in the face yesterday? Was that me or someone else? And I get a baggie. Baggies are good. Like, they're so useful. I've got a bag of baggies in another bag of baggies with baggies. They're just, you always got to have baggies. So that's that. Gosh, I haven't even got to the slings yet. So now the exciting bit. This is the exciting bit. Oh, pouches. I just needed some more pouches. Going to try some different ones. They're all pit pouches, but yeah, just give some new stuff a try. See how we go. So, okay, first of the frames, and I'm gonna get it out the bag. We have a Wasp Unifox in, I don't know, verdant lava or some equally pretentious color scheme. So this little sucker is, I wanted a Wasp frame for a while, And I did look at the Enzo. Everyone bangs on about how cool the Enzo is. I wanted a versatile frame. So OTT, TTF, and hey, Robert, thanks for dropping in, guy. Good to see you. Wanted a versatile frame. OTT, TTF, and tubes. And I just wanted to try a wasp frame, and I wanted a kind of narrow one, so that I could easily kind of pinch grip it if I needed. Never really had a pinky hole frame. I guess the pinky hole probably won't play much because it's not an offset frame. But yeah, so I'm going to give this one a go, see how I go. It's slightly narrower than I'm used to by a few mil, but that's a good thing because as I have lost weight, which I have recently, my anchor point, I haven't got as much padding. And I know it sounds mad, but this is the only assumption I can make, is that between when I started shooting and now, I've lost 5-6 kilos, right? Which is what, 15 pounds, right? And I don't have as much padding here. So when I anchor, it's going in and up by maybe an extra mil or a couple of mil, which at 10 meters is a centimeter, right? It's like, so I'm shooting, what is it? Low right, a lot more. So I'm thinking that at least at the weight I am now, I probably actually only need an 85 or an 86 mil frame, not a 90 mil frame, but hey, yeah. I shoot everything from 89, 88 through to 105, so I don't really care, I'll just adjust. Anyway, I love the color of that one, so pretty cool. And tubes to go with it. Or even better, the green. So lovely. Thank you very much for that. I did buy some clips for that because hey, clips, easy to do the swappy swap thing. So there's some clips to go with that. Put that one aside. What else do we have in here? Everyone's sitting there going, my God, how much stuff did he get? This was my make the shipping worthwhile order. Now, Zach, you're still here, brother, aren't you? No, Zach's left. Okay, well, Zach would be proud of me because, oh, you are here. Great. There you go. We are now brothers in frames, Zach. I have the same Aries as you. Well, not the same Aries, obviously. I have the same color scheme. So this is going to be my test to see whether the old dinosaur actually knows what he's talking about, because he's been banging on about this ever since he got his Aries. And he was like, oh my God, my favorite frame, blah, blah, blah. And then Zach, you started using yours, and I don't think I've seen you using your Buffalo a lot or another couple of frames a lot. And then this one, you got this one, and I haven't seen you shooting really anything else since. So yeah, the orange Aries. Which one do you have, Robert? Oh, you have the orange one as well. Yeah, you, me, and Zach, we're like orange Aries boys now. So, and it does hold amazing, actually. I like that. That's very comfy. And Ethan has a green one. We should do like a 4-way co-live or something with multiple Aries, and all shoot our Aries. Anyway, I'm looking forward to trying this one out. It does feel comfy for a center stemmed frame, because I am now finding that offset frames are definitely more comfortable for me. My hand feels more comfortable when I'm up the top there like that. So, but this is a comfy frame. Yeah, I like it, and a lot more weighty than I expected as well. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's the just what I guess I wasn't quite expecting it to have as much heft to it, but that's nice, really nice. And thank you for yet another Allen key, because you can never have enough of those things. Okay, and here we go. Here's Last but not least, do we know what this is? Do we know what it is? Do we know what it is? Guess, guess, guess. Come on. Oh yeah. Do, 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 boop, boop. Yeah, got my little Harley pin, little Harley bag. Going to pull that out. Harley couldn't make it today. He sends his apologies. He has a family commitment. I did message him and he said, I hope you're happy with it, and I look forward to seeing the live afterwards, so he'll watch it back. So, wrapped in more butcher's paper. Thank you, Mikey. You get more butcher's paper. Here she is. That is a thing of beauty. I think you'll agree, right? That's a beautiful, beautiful frame. Try and get it in focus. There we go. It is a dragon. Yeah, Chad. I really, like I say, I'm getting more and more into offset handle frames. I really wanted to try a dragon when I first saw them. And I just love the design. I think it looks beautiful. I mean, this is a frame that I would happily just never shoot and just hang up. You know, it's so pretty. But I'm about to hold it and see how it fits. Man, that's so comfortable. That's so comfortable for me, right? Like, because I really need something that fits in my hand tight, because this joint is so broken and screwed. This is comfortable as. This is so nice. It feels beautiful as well. The finish is, it's fantastic. I did splurge, Mikey. This is because I can't make it to ECST. So this entire package was my, this was my sadness package. This was my retail therapy package for the fact that I couldn't join you guys at ECST and couldn't make it out to Pennsylvania and hang with you guys in person and join in the joyous ribbing and entertaining failed competition and all those sort of things that I would have done if I'd been there. I tried very hard, but financially it was just never going to work out by the time I needed it to. And I didn't want to get myself in debt just so I could come back with a massive debt, have a brilliant time, and then come back with the post-vacation hangover and go, oh, great, I now owe thousands of dollars and have to pay it all back and try and get myself back on top. Things are too unstable for me to want that. So, so yeah, maybe Hocking Hills, maybe is the Southeast on around September? Can't remember. Anyway, it's more likely to be a sort of September time, I would have thought. Plus, that way, if I swing by Arizona, it won't be so brutally hot. Will it, Mikey? You'll be heading into winter. September's autumn, so it'll only be in the kind of like what? In the hundreds. Might be a bit cool at night. Anyway, so that's the box, guys. That's everything. Is it not happening? Oh well. It hit 90 this week. Okay, so yeah, it'll be around that temperature. Okay, that's bearable. Yeah, and that's bearable for me. Yeah, I'm super glad, Mikey, and I have to. I know there's not many people in here, and they all know you anyway, but I do have to give you another shout out for being totally upstanding where that's concerned. It was a understandable mistake. You sent it to an address you had on file, and you were in a rush, and then you owned it immediately and were willing to send me an entire package out for free. And I could have been one of those guys who just went, yeah, do that. That's what you have to do. And then you and JB would have been hit up for a massive bill. And then I would have received this package and ended up with 2 dragons and 2 unifoxes and 2 of everything. Right. And I couldn't in good conscience do that to you. So so I'm glad it all worked out for both of us. I got it. I got what I paid for. I got my package. I'm happy with everything. Delighted, in fact, with everything. Super grateful for your support, mate, and the constant communications over checking up on it and making sure it got here and so on. So yeah, very happy it got here and that it was undamaged, that no one managed to smash it in customs. Or I was briefly concerned about this one. This being Indonesian hardwood that has gone out to America and then come from America over here. Australian customs are very, very tight about wooden items coming into the country from overseas. So they usually will break the package open, pull this out, stick it in a fumigator and fumigate it in case it's filled with beetles or bugs or murderous foreigners. So I'm glad that this one escaped being fumigated or incinerated, which would have been the other thing that they might have done, is just gone put it in an incinerator, because that would have been criminal. I think you'll agree that, like, that going in an incinerator. So now all I have to do is maintain my record for 0 fork hits, and this will be a safe frame. Because yeah, 4K on this one would be awful. But this is the one that I'm not going to lend to anyone else to shoot, because all the fork hits on all my frames have all been done by other people. So, which is also criminal, but hey, that's what happens when you try and encourage people to engage in your hobby. So anyway, there you go, guys. Exciting unboxing, exciting for me. Okay, I am super grateful to Mikey and JB for continuing to support the community and send all this stuff out to me, all those thousands and thousands of kilometers away, thousands of miles in your terms. You know, it'd be bad if it was just thousands of kilometers, but you have to send stuff thousands of miles, which is even further. I love everything. I'm going to try everything. I'm going to band it all up. I cut some new bands yesterday. It won't be a Omega White, but it will be. They will be banded, and then I'll make some Omega White bands up ready for my next live shooting. Unless someone wants to go co-live later and we can sling some steel. I might get on later with one or more of these. I might not be able to control myself. I have to test them all out, have them all lined up. Tubes may not be an immediate thing because I have to get used to how to cut those and what length I need. And I guess it's just the same as bands, extension versus draw length, work it all out. But I don't even know how much these things extend. I've never experienced them. So this is totally new for me. It's like, reminds me of those raspberry lollies, you know, those that don't taste like raspberry at all. They taste like chemical. But, ooh, yeah, you see, they're a lot Twizzlers. That's right, man, Twizzlers. They're a lot twangier than I expected. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I looked at it, I was like, that's a seriously thin piece of latex. That's not going to be very twangy at all. I thought they'd be super, super light. And they are, but they're less light than I expected. But that's the red ones, right? And JB said they're a little bit like heavier, even though they're a lighter gauge, that they feel heavier for the gauge. And then the greens, what about the greens? Let's try them. They are heavier. But yeah, they feel about the same. I went for the heavier gauge, but they feel like they've got a lighter draw. Okay, interesting. This will be fun. Fun experimentation to keep me occupied. And engaged with my hobby. So what a super cool package to receive on a Sunday morning. Oh, and I got a Harley sticker as well. That was in the bag. I didn't realize. A little bit bent. So that's the only damaged stock, Mikey, was the Harley sticker got bent. Oh, typical. There we go. It is Sunday morning, Zach. Yeah, Sunday morning, bright and early. I was out driving over to my old place to pick this up at like 8:15 this morning, and I shot back here and created a thumbnail and set everything up and got my coffee to make sure I was pre-caffeinated. And then yeah, I got on live to you guys so that you could enjoy your evening watching me enjoy my morning, get childish excitement. I know, man. I live in your future, as I said many, many times. I am essentially a Time Lord. You know, so it's all fish fingers and custard for me because I'm clever. Anyway, there you go. It's that. So I can't stop holding this one. It feels very, very good. Look at that. Look. Ooh, that locks in. That's really nice. So yeah, happy pinch grip. What's the winning numbers tomorrow for you guys? Oh, I don't know. Should I tell you? Is that well, I do know, but I can't tell you. Yeah, truly on it. It's weird. I struggle with it still. Not least for the same reason that Mikey struggles with it half the year, because of that whole daylight savings thing. So like when daylight savings kicks in for you guys, Mikey's like, why am I late for meetings by an hour or early for meetings by an hour? Yeah. And the same with me. It just changes and doesn't change for us in Queensland. We just ignore daylight savings, which means that half the year I'm an hour out from Sydney, even though it's on exactly the same longitude. It's like stupid. It's just stupid. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chad. We should either all do it or no one should do it. I don't care. I really don't care. Time is a man-made construct. It's completely made up. Let's face it. It's just an arbitrary division of light and dark, and that's how it started. And it really only works at the equinox anyway. So, or perihelion or whatever it is, right? Like it's basically and on the equator. Right? So let's just all agree to agree, right? And that's, yeah, Leon, that's exactly why Queensland doesn't do it. Right? I mean, it basically, until 1988, when Brisbane held World Expo, Queensland was this agricultural state where, you know, the rest of Australia just went, oh yeah, that's where they grow things and breed animals. They don't, you know, they're farmers. They're all just farm boys. So I'm incredibly smart. Oh, I don't know about that, Zach. I try and be smart. It usually travels into smart ass rather than just smart, but I do my best. But yeah, that's why Queensland doesn't observe daylight savings, because the farmers kicked off. They were like, we don't need that shit. And we don't need someone in Canberra deciding we need that shit. So they just didn't observe it. And then at state level, they just went, no, we've always done it this way. We're not observing that. I have, yeah, mate, it's because hair are your aerials, right? And they transmit messages from the universe directly into your brain. And because I don't have hair, I just have to store everything in my brain. I have no choice. I don't get that constant feed that people with beautiful flowing locks like you and Rob have. I did have that. And while I had that, I absorbed all the knowledge, and then I went bald and cut all my hair off because it, you know, can you imagine a Zach hairdo with male pattern baldness? It would not work, brother. It would would not work. That's exactly it, Ethan. My brain is literally like, it's pressing against the inside of my skull and it's squeezed all my hair out. I'm like, it's squeezing out so much I get little bits bulging out on the top there. Look at that. Like, I get these. Look at that. Oh, sorry, wrong side. That's bits of brain leaking out. So I got one on my eyebrow too there. Am I reversed? Right hand. Oh, it's weird. I don't know. Anyway. So there you go. So how are we all anyway? I've done my exciting bit. I've kind of like, I'll be having a massive serotonin crash in a minute where I just go, excitement. Oh, it's all over. I need another package. That's the problem with retail therapy, really. Still love my little dude here. And the great colors. That's such good colors. I love those colors. Red, black, and green. Hey, that's almost the rooster colors that we discussed, Ethan. If the green was a bit darker, that's almost the rooster colors that we talked about. Hey, Christian. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. I'm sorry you missed the unboxing, Christian. I couldn't wait. I was being harassed by all these Americans, all these goddamn Americans. They were pressuring me to. They were like, open the box. Stop talking. Just open the box. And I feel threatened, obviously. So I went, yes, please. That's what I got, Christian. There we go. That was my package. And that's full-size frame. I've just become huge. Overnight, I grew to be 20 foot tall. And this is a little slingshot for little people. It's a mousy slingshot. Yeah, so Christian, I got some stickers. I got some cans. I'm going to be bringing one of those to you when I come visit, brother. One of these is yours. No, I'm going to shoot it as a giant. I got some pouches. I'll probably bring some of those to you as well when I come visit. Tubes for drinking soft drink from 10 meters away. And then I got some frames, which, I got some latex as well. I'll be bringing you some of that as well, because Omega White. Unifox in Lava Red. Sweet little frame. Oh, I'll take him tubes. You know, he doesn't have to use them. He can use them to hang targets. I got myself an Aries. I like the bag too. It's kind of, look at that. It's all opalescent, shiny in the words of Kaylee from Firefly. Shiny strawberries. Please let there be someone in here who gets that reference. Yeah. So that's my Aries. That holds really nice too, and I'll be able to stop having Rex tell me that I need to get one. Plus, we now have an Aries gang, okay? Because there's 3 of us with this color: Robert, myself, and Zach. And Ethan has a green one, but we're the Aries gang. So I reckon we should do like a 4-way collab with Aries at some point. That would be cool. And then there's this beautiful frame, Christian. Let me just see if I can get it so it's not reflecting the light so much. Isn't that beautiful? That's just so understated and yet so impressive. And that center, that it isn't a core because it's offset, but that center line, right, is wood, but it almost looks like a metal core. It's brilliant. It's got that kind of like anodized burnished metal look to it, but it's wood. Yeah, I'll be bringing this one for you to have a look at, man. I'm not going to let you shoot it. Sorry, don't trust you. I might let you shoot it. Who knows? I'm not that precious about it, although I might be a bit precious about this one. It might become my precious. But and obviously stickers galore and pins and other joyous things like Slingshot Tony. Slingshot Tony. Slingshot Tony is our inspiration, really. Slingshot Tony and his trick shots, his spread-legged trick shots. If you haven't seen that short, you need to check out that short. That was a good one, Mikey. I liked that. I hope you appreciated my comment, man. That was you're an inspiration to us, Slingshot Tony. I shall be doing some trick shots, maybe with this one. Trying to channel my inner Tony. Yeah, with my legs up. So that's it. That's the box, and yeah, well packaged. Only got a bit squished, but that was squished around there. That was probably them running it over with a truck or something. So yeah, super happy. What can I say? I'm a happy man with all my toys, and yeah, I'm gonna soak one of these. Get it nice and soft, hang it up outside, fail to do any speed shooting. Yeah, how to blink your eye out, yep. And then I'll be banding up these various frames and testing them out and seeing how we go. I'm just trying to work out, I don't know, it was my imagination. I thought this had like sloped forks, like subtly sloped forks, and I'm not sure. Maybe it does. If it does, it's very subtle. But this is beautiful. Super chuffed, man. And thank you for the extra little gift, man. And that was appreciated. I like it. Made me smile, as you saw. So that's it, guys. I don't really have a lot else to. Oh, hello, Boots. Do you want to come up here? Come up and say hello to everyone. Come on. There we go. So we're going to. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go and tie up some bands and put some bands on here. And just before I go, because Coin didn't make it, I won't do both because I'm sure they have the same scent. I'm going to go with the 0.45 because Zach approves of the 0.45. Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the aroma. I don't know that Coin's already sniffed it and he didn't complain, but I'm getting woody notes. A little bit of dry silage, maybe, and maybe that strange vanilla scent that seems to make it into all modern latex. I'm putting it down to. I still think my description of fish fingers and custard is a good one, and I would say this is less fishy, more custard. So there we go. Adam's quick capsule review of Amiga Electric White 0.45. It's a fun blend of amines and basically, I guess, ethenes and strange other esters. Esters, that's bananas, isn't it? Banana skin, esters. Other terpenes and flavonoids. Nice. Very much appreciated. I'm going to look forward to using the 4.5. I think the 4.5 is going to be my go-to boy. Because yeah, Sniff Shot. Maybe I should change my name, Sniff Shot. But then I compete with Coin, and I don't want to do that. It's not fair. It's not fair to steal his thunder. And if he were here, he would already be defending his position as sniffer number one. He would not allow me. He would not allow me to take that prize off him. Nor do I wish to do so. I can't compete. I mean, you know, I am the Simple Shot Mike you sent me smelled like a fish market. What? No banana, no custard, none of that sweet stuff, just fish. Because Simple Shot latex, I don't know. I haven't had any for ages. Not since I bought my Scout X. And I got sent a set of bands that were just utterly pointless for me. It was the 0.7 black. And it was cut long draw, very long draw, like potentially full butterfly. And I could have cut it down, but I tried it long draw and I was like, oh, I can't do this. And then I cut them down and I shot them short draw, and they were fast. Obviously, it's like 0.7 black. They were fast, but they were super heavy, like really heavy. And I was wobbling all over the place like this. So I was totally inaccurate with them. And I haven't tried Simple Shot latex since. Although, sorry, I've got cat hair now all over me. From what I've heard, it's just a TheraBand, a rebranded TheraBand formula. Am I right in saying that with the Simple Shot? Yeah, you're right, Ethan. I mean, it was like brutal. I was like pulling it back and going, oh God. And I think it's because I mentioned that I was going to be, I wanted to try shooting TTF. And so they sent me a TTF band set. And I think the only pre-tied TTFs they had were probably in 0.7. It just wasn't a very happy combo for me. And then I got myself some 0.4 sniper sling and I was like, oh my God, this stuff is, it's like it's like a 6 pound draw weight or something the way I cut it. It's just, there's nothing to it and it hurls steel quite quickly. Thank you. So, anyway, next plan. What do we have on for the evening, gentlemen? Because I don't have an evening for another 8, 9 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. So, anything fun lined up in your evenings? I plan on playing with this stuff, and I also plan on watching Ethan's live with Linda earlier. With Mr. Linda, and see what they got up to. Hopefully it will be entertaining. If it isn't, I shall complain to you, Ethan. Oh, 9 people in here now. Wow, so 9 people after not having anyone for ages. Sanding frames. I thought you said sending frames. I'm like, wow, you're going to be lucky, mate. It's a Sunday. Post offices are closed. Unless you're sending them kangaroo mail, koala mail. Hey, Selwyn. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining, man. Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. How are things down in your neck of the woods? In the old country? Which I will make a trip back home at some point. I say home. Old home. And then I'll be doing the rounds, hitting all you guys up and visiting all the Sling family in the UK. While I'm visiting friends in Bristol, I'll be like heading over to the valleys and seeing all the Welsh boys, having fun down there. 2 dry days, not drinking. Yeah, I was going to say, what's wrong with you, boy? That makes a change, man. That must be the first time since, I don't know, 4th century AD. Coin, greetings, brother. Live long and prosper and all that. And don't stick your fingers together with super glue. You missed the sniffing, Coin. I'm sorry. I just, yeah, just in case. In your honor, sir. There you go. It's the 0.45, in case you wondered. It does feel nice. It's very, very, it's very flimsy, but very snappy in my fingers. Yeah, enjoy the party, brother. Please don't get in trouble with your missus for hanging with your little friends. No sound, but he's just popped in, so he doesn't know what the hell I'm saying, but it'd be really good. Yeah, I shan't type. Yeah, well, yes, Ethan, but also you have people out there. Like, that's the point. So you guys are, thanks, Zach. You guys are spread apart, but there are a load of you, right? Like, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you spread over the states. Here in Australia, there's me, Christian. I'm talking about active users who actually like to be part of a community rather than just people who sling quietly on their own and they're solo slingers. The only people that I know of that kind of really want to be part of a slingshot community over here is Jules. Yeah, Jules, Christian, me. That's it. I mean, if I were to run the see, can you see these bits of cat hair floating around? I keep getting them. They just float in and they're all over me now. Slingshot community here is probably like 3 guys who would actually get off their arse and visit somewhere, to go to a tournament or catch up with each other or whatever. And it's a 2-day drive to go and visit Christian, like, from me. So, you know, it's 800 miles. Yeah, something like that. I could. It's 1,200 kilometers. Is that it, Christian? Probably Brisbane to Cowra, 1,200, 1,300 kilometers. So yeah, 850 miles. You know, so I don't mind committing to that sort of catch up, but we have to plan it, because I can go, come and visit you, brother, and he can go, cool, I'm free, and then I can set off, and I get there 2 days later, and he's like, yeah, I'm not free now because it took you 2 days to get here. So yeah, it's annoying, and it's the same for Jules. If Jules wants to catch up and we all want to shoot together, he's got to come from Victoria and come up. Oh, the Wardens. Okay, the Warden story. Park rangers. Over here we have park rangers, a bit like you guys do. They're not police. They have limited legal power, but they can be authoritative in where park and conservation areas are concerned. And I don't want to get on their wrong side anyway. They're generally nice guys who work hard to make sure that these public areas are kept nice for us all to enjoy. So I was out shooting in my usual spot where I've gone live from, and where I have my new woods course, which is ever expanding, because every time I go out there, I take a few more bean cans and I perch them on logs and other things, hang them from trees at various distances. So I've now got like 20, 22, 23 cans of various sizes, from the little tiny, I guess they'd be 6-ounce cans. I'm guessing here because it's all in milliliters over here, but 150 mil. What's that? That's 6 ounce. Yeah, 6-ounce can. And the standard is 10-ounce cans, and then the bigger ones, the baby food style cans, which I guess are 16-ounce or 18-ounce cans, right? And I got them at different distances, and different heights, everything from maybe 8 meters all the way out to about 25, 30. So I've set this up. It's taken me several weeks to get it all set up, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm wandering around, and I arrived, and where I shot my co-live with Rob that day, and where I was shooting the can off the stump in my short, that area had 2 people having a picnic. So I was like, not going to shoot there. And they were mowing, right? Like, these park rangers were driving around on ride-on grass cutters and using bushwhackers and all that sort of thing. So I went off and shot the woods course. And when I got back from the woods course, it was all empty, a newly shaved piece of grass. And I was like, great, I can throw a can out there and I'll actually be able to see it. and I'll be able to plink it across the grass and it'll move. It won't get held by the grass. So I go down there, and as I pass this little post, I drop a can on it. And I back up 10 yards, and I go plink, and I take another step, and I go plink, and I take another step, and I go plink, and I take another step. So I'm out at about 15 yards, and I turn around, and there's this thin beige line walking towards me, 4 park rangers. And they're just all like eyeballing me and walking towards me. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So I stop plinking, and a point of note, I'm shooting clay. I'm shooting away from the road and away from the park area in towards the bush. I'm not shooting towards a pathway. There is no one else around. Rex, good to see you, brother. I'm sorry you missed the unboxing, but please watch it back later. I have joined the Aries Brotherhood. So amongst other things, there's also this little baby, which I know you'll appreciate. But check out the rerun. I won't bore everyone going through my package contents. Yeah, so thin beige line walking towards me. I wait for them to get closer, and when they're about, I mean, they were still a good like 20 yards away when the oldest guy goes, "All right, mate, what you doing?" And I'm like, oh, they already know what I'm doing, right? It's just like this stupid rhetorical question. So I'm like, oh, I'm just here, guys. And before I can properly answer you guys, nah, you're not allowed to do that here. I'm like, well, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing wrong? You guys, you're using a, he said, you can't, he said, that's a prohibited weapon. So I'm like, last time I checked, it's just a piece of polycarbonate with some rubber attached to it. It's not a prohibited weapon. Anyway, he argued the toss. I argued up to a point because I know for a fact that these things are not prohibited weapons in Queensland. I was under the impression they were not classified even as weapons in Queensland. And that's how I've been basing my shooting, was on the fact that I'd read through the legislation, the Weapons Act, Queensland Weapons Act 1990, which was updated in February this year. Cheers, Zach. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you. Catch you later, brother. And I couldn't find anything about slingshots except braced slingshots, ones with arm braces, which I already knew were prohibited or were weapons in Queensland. Anyway, it turns out they basically stood their ground. I didn't want to argue. I packed up and left. I got home. I pulled out the act. I had another read. Turns out in Queensland, and only in Queensland, because I can't find this reference anywhere else on the planet in any documentation. In Queensland, this thing here is not a slingshot. A slingshot is a wrist rocket, something with an arm brace, specifically an arm brace, right? This is, wait for it, a Shanghai, as is this. So to quote, a Y-shaped frame to which elastic is attached for the purpose of projecting a piece of ammunition. Now, I've never heard the term Shanghai ever, except in this act. And if any of you have or can find references to Shanghai as anything other than a city in China, right, please let me know, because I've never heard of this being called a Shanghai. Yeah, exactly, Christian. What the hell is that, man? That was literally the first time I'd heard of it. So to me, this is a slingshot frame, but apparently it isn't. It's a Shanghai. And I don't even have to go Shanghai frame because the Shanghai is the frame. But there we go. And Shanghais are a weapon in law in Queensland. So these are covered by the Weapons Act, which means that they were correct to say that I was not allowed to shoot these in a public place. So high style, yeah. So I wondered where high style came from, and I guess it must be a contraction of Shanghai style, but I don't know. Weird. So this is interesting. I need to find out more about this. Anyway, so it turns out that these are weapons in Queensland. They're not prohibited weapons, but they are weapons controlled by the Weapons Act 1990, in which it clearly states, I'm not allowed to shoot these in a public space. I'm only allowed to shoot them on private land with permission. But I am allowed to import them, I am allowed to sell them, I am allowed to manufacture them, I am allowed to own them, I am allowed to band them up, I'm allowed to use them on private land with permission, any private land with permission. So yeah, it's all a bit weird. So I won't be shooting out in the park anymore, and at some point I have to go and break down my woods course, and I'll have to wait till I have land sufficient to put another woods course in. Disappointing, but them's the breaks. And something they told me was that actually the legislation, they're trying to change the legislation here or something, because the rangers have been told they're not allowed to use these anymore either. I'm like, oh, that's good. How do your arborists get a rope up a tree then? And they looked at me like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's a good point. And he said, oh, yeah, we're allowed to use long shots. I went, oh, so slingshots then, basically. Shanghai's, right? A frame with some rubber that's used to project a projectile. It doesn't matter that it's got a rope attached to it, right? And that it's a drop weight. That doesn't matter. It's still a slingshot. If you put a rock in it, it would hurt someone. So, yeah, mad. It's, again, the inconsistency that frustrates me. Okay, bit like daylight savings, inconsistent, don't like it. If they were more consistent, I would be happier. And I can't stop holding this. It's quite comfortable. It's it's become my comfort slingshot. It's like a comfort blanket. And a little bead. So yeah, that's the Ranger story. And yes, indeed, Aussie laws, Christian. It's even worse for you, buddy, because you ain't even allowed to own them or make them or import them or sell them officially. You know, it's all like super restricted in New South Wales because they're prohibited weapons there, as they are in Victoria and Western Australia, I believe. And certain parts of, I think Northern Territory, they're restricted weapons for anyone under 18. But you just living on the edge, Christian. You lawbreaker. But yeah, so hopefully it doesn't represent an ever increasing tightening of the regulations over here for personal use on private land, at the very least. I would still like to have acreage at some point where I can sling, and I would also like to. I do have this plan to like do dust at some point, down under slingshot tournament, even if it is only me and Christian and Jules, right? I would like to do that sometime, and that would be really, really good. And also even better if any of my more funded American brethren decided to come out and join in. That would be even better. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'd have first, second, third, first, second, third, first, second, third. Every event we would win a prize, which would be great. Smell them as paperweights. Well, that's it, man. They'll just become really pretty ornaments. You know, it'd be like my wall will have this and guitars hanging from it. You know, it's a bit sad though. It's kind of quite a costly ornament, and I'm not someone who generally spends money on ornaments. So I get gifted ornaments, and then I do what my mum used to do, which is, great, another dust collector that I'll have to clean, and then she'd sit and clean them all, right? But well, I mean, I'd smell them as paperweights as well, mate. Although this one smells good, you see, so because it smells like wood. That's nice. But yeah, I couldn't sell them as paperweights. I don't think the market in boutique paperweights is quite as, I don't know, maybe it is. Boutique paperweight market, maybe Maybe I should sell them as paperweights. Maybe that's the way to wean myself off my rabbit hole addiction, you know. But so you know, Mikey, this so my friend, if we include this little guy in one package, you have nearly facilitated the doubling of my collection. Nearly. So so when my custom comes from Rooster, I will have twice as many frames as I had before. That's sad and obsessive, but I'm pretty proud of myself for resisting so long. And very happy with what I've received. So I look forward to testing all these out today and giving you guys some feedback, and then jumping on live with one of you fine gentlemen and slinging some steel at high velocity with one or more of these. Oh man, you, Ethan, I said I didn't want to know anything. I trust you, brother. I trust you. You're not weak enough. You should give it more often. Honestly, Selwyn, if my budget allowed, I would be a Leon. I'm not saying I'd be that I'd have as impressive a beard, but I would definitely have, because I couldn't have as impressive a beard as Leon. I just don't grow a beard in that way. Basically, I grow a beard in this way. And if I keep growing a beard, it just grows down. It doesn't, there's no out. So yeah, I would be a bit of a hard rabbit hole diver, and I would have, I am a bit of an obsessive collector when it comes to hobbies. If I get into something, I tend to be the guy that will go, I really like those boutique markers, or those whatever it is. I'll choose something, and then I'll be like, I kind of have to buy all the refills, and I have to buy the extras, and I have to buy the, like, I fell down for instance, the fountain pen, ink pen, right? You know what a fountain pen is? Because when I say fountain pen over here, a lot of people don't know what I mean. But a pen with a nib with tines that you put ink in, and it's all right. Anyway, I jumped down that rabbit hole very hard when I got back into writing with ink pens. And so now I have lots and lots of ink pens. Yeah, Ethan, you should do a 3-parter. My collection, part 1. My collection, part 2. My collection, part 3. Right? And just do as many parts as you need, brother. Do, like, you know, maybe 20 at a time or 30 at a time. Do a quick review. You like a good fountain pen, Leon? Would you like to see some fountain pens? Should I get some fountain pens? Is that where this is going now? Or maybe we'll keep that to a private chat, Leon, and not bore everyone with good fountain pens. But, you know, yeah, I'm a bit of a obsessive collector when things start, you know. And this is something I've resisted. Do I sniff the ink? Absolutely, mate. And inks are interesting. Some of them do smell absolutely disgusting. Really, like, I've had a couple that are disgusting, like proper, you know, real gag reflex specials. And then I've had others where I'm like, ooh, that actually smells quite nice. And now you can get scented inks. I think you've always been able to, but I've never gone for them. But you can get scented inks as well, which smell really nice when you open the bottle. Well, they smell when you open the bottle. I don't know about nice. They smell like perfume. But they smell when you open the bottle. They smell while the ink's wet. So as you're writing, you can smell it. But as soon as it dries, it stops smelling. You're quite right, Leon. There is nothing quite like laying a line of wet ink down on a page with a good pen. It's totally different to writing with a fine liner or a rollerball or a biro, none of which are bad. Like, I've used every writing implement under the sun, including a quill. But, like, there's nothing quite like a nib laying a line of ink down. There's something about the way it goes down wet and you watch it dry and it shades where it pools at the end of the strokes. I'm getting all nerdy now, but pens are nice. We shall talk fountain pens, Leon, at some point. We should do a fountain pen thing. Like I say, if people were more enthusiastic, I'd go and grab some now and I'd wave some really beautiful pieces, because they are as beautiful as things like this, right? There is some stunning work out there. And a lot of the bodies are turned from exactly the same types of resins as we make slingshot frames from. And we all get super excited about all these different like resin types and all the, you know, all the lovely colors and patterns and pores and translucencies and all that stuff. So in slingshot community, we all get excited about that stuff, or most of us do. It's exactly the same thing in the fountain pen community. Yeah, I'll hit you up, Leon, and we'll chat about fountain pens and inks. Yeah, I have well, no, I don't anymore, because I gave my wife a load when we separated, so that she had ink supplies for all the pens that I variously bought her and she bought herself over the years. But she'd always used my inks. So when we separated, I just went, okay, you can have this chunk of inks. NASA did work on a pen. In fact, they did release it. There are 2 pens that they did. Originally they did a ballpoint, and I think they've done a second version of that as well. And I think they called it the space pen. I think it really was that unimaginative. It is absolutely ordinary. Really, very, very ordinary with a ridiculous price. And yes, the Russians used common sense and took, correct, the Fisher space pen. And it's not all that, mate. It really isn't. Because pencils, crayons, charcoal, blood, right? I mean, there's so many ways you could do it. You don't need a special pen. But that's just very typical, I think. I'm not gonna be cruel and say that's very typically American, but it is. So I said it. So there you go. I mean, you know, they just had to come up with a special pen. And you're absolutely right, Leon. It is not all that, mate. It's just a pen. It's really, and it's not even that nice. I've written with one. It's not even that nice to write with. It's okay. It's okay, right? Like literally, it's just okay. And because it's only okay, I can't get enthusiastic about it, because, you know, I'm ambivalent about it. It's mediocre, and I don't really do mediocrity. It's like, why bother? I'd rather it was utterly shit or utterly awesome. You know, that mid-grade bit is just, yeah, it's just a pressurized pen. Yawn. Pencil. Just get a fucking pencil, right? It's just, actually, what I like more is that pencil that isn't a pencil, that's got that metal tip, that the heat of the friction on the paper oxidizes the tip at a molecular level. It oxidizes the tip of the pen and leaves a mark. It's not quite as dark as a regular graphite pencil, but it doesn't need sharpening, and doesn't really wear out fast enough for you to notice. It wears out at the same rate as a fountain pen nib or something like that. So yeah, it's just a bit mad. Let me have a look. Pressurized pen, here you are. I think a regular old Bic writes better. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you get a good one, you know, because Bics can be a bit touch and go. But I mean, all you've got to do is search on YouTube for like Bic calligraphy, and there's a couple of guys on there's a couple of guys on there that do amazing writing with Bic ballpoints and artwork with them. So yeah, just tools. We lost everyone, as in they're just bored, or we actually lost them, Leon. I'm still showing 7 people here, so I just think I don't think we lost them. I think they're just bored. Their eyes are rolled back and they're like, stop talking about pens. Let's talk about other plastic items. Slingshots. Yeah, there you go. Bushcraft walked in. Hey, brother, how you doing? I'm not buying pens too, just slingy thingies. You're a bad influence. This is exactly what we're talking about, man. It's that rabbit hole, and the fact that obsessive purchasing of slingshot latex and frames. You missed this one, Bushcraft. There you go, bro. I'm sorry you missed the unboxing, but feel free to watch it back later. So we started talking about other things that I have previously obsessed about and gone down the rabbit hole with. And the first thing that I mentioned was fountain pens, ink pens, good quality writing implements. And I expected everyone to go, fountain pen? What's a fountain pen? I don't know what you're talking about. And and Leon goes, oh yeah, I not only collect slingshots, I like fountain pens as well. I'm like, oh God, brother, you've got it bad. This is a Harley special. It's a dragon. It's not an exotic wood dragon. It's not the really expensive one, and it's not a clipped one, but it's still very beautiful. And it's all wood, even though that center liner looks almost like it's anodized metal, especially at the end. It's very, very nice. Sorry, it's not in focus. There we go. Yeah, Chad, you should, man. It takes a little to get used to making sure that the nib is parallel to the page, or like, you know, you're not canting it, because that will push the tines out of alignment. But once you get used to doing that, you don't have to press, right? With a good phantom pen, you don't have to give any real pressure unless you want to change line width. And that only works with some nibs. So, and it just feels, yeah, quality paper, Japanese writing paper. Like, get some good quality Japanese, like Tomoe River or something like that. Oh, yeah, we are definitely going to do. I ought to do a pen live at some point, but I don't think the slingshot community are going to get quite as excited. Maybe Leon would get excited. I'd have one viewer and he'd be like, pens. Everyone else would be like, oh, pens. Can we have some slings? You know? But essentially, it's the same thing. The same triggers, beautiful objects, craftsmanship, the interaction with the object. It's about the human object interact. Yeah, let's do a co-live on pens and then sling some steel. If I had some shitty old broken pens, we could sling steel at pens. But would that be sacrilegious? I don't know. Oh. Before I go, I'll just show you. I've got to get a couple of pens just to keep Leon happy. I'll be back in a second. And this is very much only the tip of the iceberg. See you, Selwyn. Thank you so much for coming in, brother. I'll catch you soon in another live, probably one of Roland's. There you go. That's the sort of pen that we're talking about. This sort of thing. I don't think I'm not. Oh, did it focus? Let me see if I can get it to focus on the nib. It nearly did. No. It wants to, but it doesn't want to. It's because I'm in the frame. Anyway. This is a Pelikan Stresemann 805. Pelikan 805, M805 Stresemann. Named after the German Chancellor who used to wear grey pinstripe suits. And you can't see it very clearly, but this is a very fine grey pinstripe in resin. And that's another 805 stray, but isn't the Straysman, that's the Ocean Swirl. Look at the resin on that, man. Isn't that beautiful? That's just something else. And it is semi-translucent. You can see through the, see how you can see through it? It's a thing of beauty, and that's a custom grind. So I've had that nib custom ground to a cursive italic. So what does it need, Bushcraft? Needs a matching knife. Is that a knife? You're behind the heart at the moment. I'm waiting for that to clear out. Yeah, matching knife. You're right. I mean, that resin on a knife handle or a slingshot would be beautiful. It would be stunning. I mean, it is really stunning, and you can't really see it. Oh, there we go. You see it now? Look at that. That's a thing of beauty. I think you'll agree, even if you're not into pens. The other thing, Leon, about pelicans, I mean, apart from the little fiducial cap, little end cap there, the clip is a pelican. It's meant to be like a pelican. It's so difficult to see. He's got two little eyes up the top here, and this is his beak. This is the top of a pelican beak. That's very cool. Anyway, Lamy Safaris are indeed good fountain pens. I don't like them because I don't need the contoured section. Lamy fountain pens have a contoured section at the top here with little finger dips, scoops, and I'm not comfy with that, mainly because I know how to hold a fountain pen. I don't need to be guided. But penknife and slingy, yeah, absolutely, like an EDC set that matched. I might consider that, man. That's a good idea. And this is the only one I have in this case here. I've got cases out the back, but I'm not going to. This will be the last one there. There you go, Leon. Look at the ink. Oi. I could do this for hours. I could just sit and watch it slosh back and forth inside. And this one is a 14 karat gold nib. There we go. Nice. That's a Pilot 823, Pilot Custom 823. That's a lovely everyday writer, and it contains lots of ink, so it just writes for ages. That's a 15, size 15, in a Japanese medium, which is the equivalent of a European fine, probably, whereas this is a European medium, which would be a Japanese broad, and this is a European medium ground to a cursive italic. Anyway, there you go. There's the three that I'm currently have inked up that I'm writing with in my journal, and I'll pull some other ones out, Leon. I'll go through some other fancy limited edition stuff. And broad guy, yeah, broad and wet. I understand. I do understand. My handwriting doesn't allow me to use super broad nibs because it just becomes this mush of just ink. I might as well just color in. But a broad medium is about as far as I can go. I do like nibs with flex as well. I've got a few where I can actually go down. It goes whoop, whoop, and you get some nice flex on it. Anyway, there you go. Like some of the, is that tactical pens? Again, I should have turned off this heart before I got in here. There is a way to do it. I found it, and then I've lost it again. But I have it turned off on my phone, I think. I like all pens. There you go. But fountain pens I have a particular love for. And like I say, before I gave a chunk of my inks to my wife in the separation, I had 147 bottles of ink or something. So when you say rabbit hole, I dive in there, man. Like I bought ink till it was coming out of my nose, basically. There was loads and loads of ink in the house. And I still have lots. Even after giving my wife lots, I still have lots. I have plenty of ink. Enough to keep me going for a few years. Thousands of pens stored at my mum. Literally thousands. Leon, be honest. Literally thousands, or just kind of lots? Because if you've got thousands of pens, we don't need to talk about them, because I don't think I can compete with thousands, because I've bought and sold on, and so I've kind of like got it down to what I want to keep, plus a few that I'm going to sell down the line, but I haven't got around to it yet. You're a pen fan, Leon. Who knows? There may be a mystery gift heading your way. Who knows, brother? I know. At some point in the future, I'm not going to promise anything, because I don't want you sitting there on the edge of your seat waiting. It'll be a nice surprise if and when it turns up. There you go. So, about 10 5-gallon buckets of pens. You store your pens in 5-gallon buckets. You have no respect for your writing implements, sir. You mean you don't have the original boxes for all of them? All right, guys, it's what? I've been on here for an hour and a half. I guess I should let you guys have some of your evening, at least. Oh, don't worry, man. I know you would. There are going to be continued communications about pens, I'm sure. Now I know that there are other pen lovers in the world that share my slinging obsession as well. I know it's mad, isn't it? We don't really. I don't want to say we don't have a life. We clearly do have lives. It's just they're filled with YouTube lives and slingshots and pens. But yeah, it's been good to chat. I appreciate all of you guys. Another big shout out to Mikey for getting on top of this and being really responsible with the mistake in the delivery. And I really appreciate the fact that he offered to completely replace this rather large order without question before I'd even looked into whether I was going to receive it properly. And I'm glad that it made it here in one piece. So yeah, pen showcases. Yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? I have 2 fold out ones and lots of other skinny little ones. Yeah, you rock, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you for being an upstanding human. I normally have to ask for customer support when something goes wrong, and I didn't have to ask with you. I just told you what happened, said it wasn't a problem, I was going to look into it, and you immediately owned your shit. And that's top work, brother. That's top work. So yeah, appreciate you. And the freebies, love freebies. My little guy is my little guy has disappeared, but he's put me in my happy space. That's just so cute. I've been wanting a little tiny keyring one for ages, and now I have one. Fantastic. Yeah, these are beautiful, and I'm gonna have much to play with today. So won't be banding them up with Amiga White today, but at some point in the near future, I will cut into these new bands and make some band sets up probably tomorrow or the day after, and test out the latex, and then maybe get the Crony out and do some speed testing, comparative speed testing, and be that person who posts the same video that everyone else has posted with new Amiga White. You know, I'll only be a month or 2 late, but I will get something up. So thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for continuing to inspire me and entertain me and allow me to entertain you, I hope. I shall look forward to chatting to you all in another live sometime soon, and happy to co-live later on with anyone, just hit me up. Thanks, Robert. You have a good one too, brother. And Chad, cheers, man. We shall all be in touch via this wonderful interwebs thing at some time really soon. So until the next one, go safe, be kind to each other, have fun, keep slinging, and I'll see you all soon. Doesn't matter, man. Watch it back later. I'll catch you in another one. I appreciate all of you guys. See you later, guys. Thanks.